Mirror, mirror, fogged and loud, what truth today makes the future proud? Wampus Cubs. Yesterday was a big day. First, I pulled the devil card. Everybody worries about pulling the devil card. Look at that. Loose chains. I love her tail. Look at that. Like fruit. His tail is fiery. The devil's holding a fiery, what would you call that? Staff. Oh, it's just wow. But the devil card is about breaking chains. And yesterday I sold my wedding ring. So, got married when I was just a little baby at 22 years old, 23 years ago. Lasted for 17 years. So, I've been officially free, I guess now 5 years. Is that right? Five, almost six, I guess. It might be six exactly. Is that right? Yeah, I think so. 2020. So, we've been running the Rematriation Rebellion on fumes, and we've been shadow banned, we've been suppressed, and been self funded. So, all my savings, all my time, all my energy, the last 8 months has gone to building the Wampus Verse, the Rematriation Rebellion, and writing my book. They've always called us crazy. And all of it is to reclaim the next 9 years. These next 9 years are crucial for yourself, for the good of humanity, to course correct. We're not on a great path. We can feel it. We feel the great hollowing. We feel our cities being taken over by the broligarch and the 3 assholes, the surveillance state, the police state. If you haven't read 1984 or watched it, please do. I used to teach that book by George Orwell. It's crucial. Literature and stories and narrative activism are crucial. So, yeah, pulled the devil card, sold the wedding ring to keep this Rematriation Rebellion going. And I felt nothing. Like, for 1 second, I felt a little bit of sadness, not based on anything, but the ring itself. Like, I loved that it was an oval. The guy actually threw in an extra $50. He told me what he was going to give me for it. And then he threw in an extra 50 with the wink. And I'm like, okay, universe. So broke those chains, got that ghost pretty much out of here. I almost have every single thing out because my ex-husband decided not to come do a full clean out of the basement. So there's still lingering elements, but I think there's only 1 or 2 little boxes left. One of them's like cutesy little knickknack. So I'm like, oh, I should mail that to him. Whatever. But point being, sometimes you think you've broken a chain, you think, you've cleared that, and maybe you haven't. Maybe you've got to do something like pawn your wedding ring. Maybe you've got to throw out some stuff that maybe you thought you'd keep forever, but is really just ghosts hanging around. Whatever. But for the Wampus Cubs specifically, I told you season 2 is all about talking to everyone 30 and under. I've been howling at the adults. I've been howling at my peers and the thousands of women and businesses that I've helped and supported over the years. And they are silent. They're crickets because a lot of people my age think that this is just it. This is just you survive and you figure it out. And, total individualism and pulling yourself up by your bootstraps and all that crap. And that's all lies. And the system is built to oppress us and erase us and make us small. And I don't want that for y'all. So, one of the manifesto points in the Wampus verse is not getting married before you're 30. Like, literally making that vow to yourself that you're not going to get married before 30. And quite frankly, probably the institution of marriage as a legal entity needs to be abolished, forgotten, not done anymore, whatever words you want to say, because unfortunately, marriage becomes a trap for women more than men. Um, where I grew up in Ohio, you could do like drive through $99 divorces. No big deal. Here in North Carolina, you have to be separated under different roofs, legally, supposedly, for a whole year. Think about the burden, the financial burden. And what if your dude won't leave? Like mine wouldn't. I had to go live with a friend, and you could lie and say that you were under separate roofs, right? Like, you could both agree and lie. Well, my ex wouldn't do that. Yeah, he really wanted to make sure that it was a hard year and that I earned it or whatever. And then you see this birth certificate stuff with voting, like women's names not matching their birth certificate. It's a whole thing and it's ridiculous. So, yeah, I don't know. I mean, commitment ceremonies, I guess choosing to change your name or maybe even just going by that name, because there is something that's touching or I don't know, eternal about, sharing a family name, especially if you want to have kids, like the blanks, the well, I was going to say the Russells, haha, but the whoever, the Michaels, the Stevens, the whoever last name, there's something about that, for sure. But yeah, Wampus Cubs, I'm telling you, your 20s are for you. Have fun. Date a bunch of people, date a bunch of the wrong people. Focus on work, focus on your dreams, focus on setting yourself up for success. If you want to live with people, fine. Live with, a group of girlfriends, or, even if you do have a boyfriend and you want to live with him, fine. Cool. But your 20s need to be so much about you and you making decisions for yourself that shape the rest of your life. I mean, these 9 years, especially after everything that you've been through, COVID, disasters, disastrous presidencies, the last 9 years that the patriarchy completely hijacked and stomped all over and just brutal. And unfortunately, the last 9 years, the success they've had and the lack of accountability and pushback and laws or rules, the increase in the billionaires' wealth, which has gone straight to their head. I mean, Wampus Cubs. I wish that you need to go back and look at pictures of little Mark Zuckerberg and little Jeff Bezos. They were straight up nerds. And they probably started with, I guess, good intentions ish. I mean, Facebook was obviously sexist and misogynist and horrible. But they've become cartoon villains. They are cartoon villains at this point. I remember when they were in their 20s. They're basically my age. They want to forget who they are, where they came from. They want to forget their humanity. Nah. So yeah, what chains can you break today? I mean, we might have some kind of oath, like Wampus Cubs, take the no marriage oath. No marriage before 30 oath. How different my life would be if I wouldn't have got married at little baby 22 years old. I was still in grad school. I mean, I would have moved places. I would have done more things, like, just you owe it to yourself. This life is longer. We might live till we're in our hundreds now, like this is not old timey. And I'm going to keep hollering about this because I see people from where I grew up or small towns, and it's like, graduate from high school, get married. No, that's fear. That's not even intentional. You're like falling into something. You're scared to death to be on your own. And your life is going to be stronger and better if you don't get married before 30. Because you're going to be able to take care of yourself. You're going to build the life you want without compromises. Where you want to live, what you want to do, how you want to save, even like your own little routines of like, maybe you're a Taco Tuesday person, like just really shaping and defining your future. So check in with your 2034 self 9 years from now. What does she want to tell you? What does she want you to know? Who is she? How do you become her faster? How do you embody that future version of you? Where do you want to be at the end of this 9-year cycle? Same thing with thinking about marriage, right? I didn't think about 9 years ahead. I mean, in some ways, I thought about the right then, and then I thought about being really old and like, growing old together. But the in between, the reality, the deep talks that make sure you're aligned, just living life together parallel to make sure that this is the right person, not clinging to someone because of society, fear, family, whatever it is. I mean, I moved in with my ex-husband before we got married, majorly in part because I felt like my dad did not want us to live together before we got married. So it was like, well, we're going to live together and then we're going to hurry up and get engaged and hurry up and get married to like please my father. I don't know. Very strange. So again, Wampus Cubs, I'm here to help you avoid some of the mistakes I made. I'm here to help you have the strongest, best future you can have. And if there's something in your house you can sell that's holding you back, that's got chains on you, break free. Break free. And if there's others watching this that still own your wedding ring, ladies, sell that. Get that energy out of your house. Boo! Feeling good. Feeling good selling that ring. No sadness. No remorse. I don't want that jewelry here. I wouldn't want to turn it into earrings. I don't want it. Bad juju, bad karma. It's out now. I feel lighter. I feel better. So, remember, Wampus Cubs, the future can always wish until morning.